So this is just a general message. I just kind of asked a general message before the weekend to see what guidance is there for us. And the first one is about, at first I saw this and thought, and we're off. Like we're off to the weekend, and I got excited. But as I continued reading, looking at the other cards, it just didn't actually go that way. And so this card to me has been more about like, we're conditioned as a society from work, from everything, from our day to day to just keep rushing to get to the next place. It also kind of reminds me of how, like, you want this fancy car and you want to get there like faster and to be seen. And like, I had a boss who was like that, like convertible top, so I can open it and you can see me. Or even if I have a convertible, I'm not going fast because, again, I want to be seen. So his is like the opposite theory. Like, you don't, like, he's not trying to get there fast. He's trying to get there to be seen. Although he did get a motorcycle to get there faster, because he could was kind of split lane, but he also still was cautious. And this also reminds me of like my uncle kind of going, yeah, so what if like my car is not fancy? I just want to get from point A to point B safely. So this is like giving all that vibe, because here it kind of shows how we're busy doing rather than busy being. We're busy rushing instead of like being part of families, because I'm definitely noticing that we haven't. Even though COVID caused us to kind of, it's funny, COVID caused two things. COVID caused us to kind of be like, let's talking to strangers, because it's like, oh, you better mask up, you better have your distance. But it also, in theory, caused people to be more home. But the weird thing was, I also like, it reminded me of like how some people got divorces because it was like too much together time, which was kind of sad. This kind of reminds me also of like, if you're busy with your career and you have family, time flies and these kids will grow up. And then like, imagine this little girl kind of going, oh yeah, I miss that childhood time. Or the dad, sometimes you see like where the parents are like, I regret, like when they talk to their kids later, like, I regret not having spent more time with you. But also in their older age, when they are less busy and they are wiser, then they do spend time with their adult children and able to give them the advice. And it's kind of returning to that community of not fighting, not racing, and us just being more receptive of emotions, of who we are, of the situation, our circumstance, everything, our environment, and doing it together. Like, we need people. We need help from people. We need the connection from people. Like, it hits different, and I'll explain because there is a hermit card later. And again, this is the past where some of us have been more, this definitely reminds me of like being set in stone and just doing things a certain way, being more rigid, kind of, I want power, because this kind of looks like he's saluting and he looks like he should be holding something, but he's not holding something. He's not like cheering, like it's not like a cut where you're cheering another person. It's just sort of like, you ever like throw your hand up like, yeah, I did it. It's like that, kind of like that, but it's weird because it's also sideways, and it's kind of weird because it's like he's looking at someone or something, and maybe it's like he's solo again with, because of the other hermit card, like where he might be just kind of going like, fist bump to my past. Like, look at how far I came along. I was this weak person. I was a nobody. And here I am, a somebody. But it's just so cold and isolating in a way. And then this one, again, reminded me of like that action card of just like doing because of the thrill of it. Like, yes, I'm higher and higher and I'm faster. But it's just a split second of euphoria. And then if it's flickering, it's because of the candle, by the way. So I hope that's not like bothering anyone. This candle's going crazy. Okay, it's calm again. But yeah, so, it's kind of like that flickering just reminded me of like movie theaters, how we watch scary movies just to get that like rush feeling. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like I remember like I've always hated scary movies, but I had people like, and even roller coaster rides I've kind of hated, but I had like a best friend in like high school, college, who she loved it because it gave her that thrill and excitement. Like my mom too, like when she rode the roller coaster, she was just like, oh my god, oh that was so fun. And I'm kind of like, ooh, and then my cousin was like that, and then I realized like my husband and I hate that kind of stuff, but we get our thrills from learning new things, from interacting with like older folks who tell us cool stories, from outdoor like biking, hiking, walking, versus like my friend and my mom definitely weren't doing things in life. It was their life on repetition. It was their life looping, literally. And there was an excitement, stimulation, mental, physical. They weren't even outdoorsy people. They would get out of breath just walking. Not judging, just it is what it is. So now, God, I keep looking at that horse's face, and I don't know why it looks brutal. It looks so jacked up. It looks so abnormal. It looks like a mask too. And this even looks more like stone again. And it kind of actually, I normally love this card, but this card kind of makes me worried. It's kind of like you think you're beloved by people, but you may not be. Like these guys, are they the mob, the crowd cheering for you, or are they there to like beat you with a stick, you know? And it's kind of like you love the visibility so much that you're not seeing the individual in the crowd. You're just seeing the crowd. You're not reading the room, is what I'm getting. You're not thinking of others outside of you, like this person raising their hand right there. Is that someone asking for help and they're drowning and you're missing it, for instance? So all this kind of leads back to, again, becoming more in the receiving, less in the action and doing, more in the feminine versus the masculine. And I'll, again, show you why. Because here, again, is all the outwardly celebration. It's like the Instagram shot, right? But at home, in your mind, is a mess. Because they said your house reflects your mind. And if, for example, and I kind of get it, because it's sort of like, if I have an artist friend who's just, bless her, she's talented, she's always busy, her house is a mess. It's pretty disgusting. It's like everything everywhere, no time for cleaning, and she has the big house, she has the extension of the house, she has the huge backyard, to the point that there could be a second property on it. And it's just everything overgrown, everything everywhere, just stockpiling, storing, and it's not to say I'm like saying you must clean everything, because it's a balance of both. It's a balance of action, it's a balance of not doing, it's a balance of receiving, it's a balance of giving, right? It's a balance of celebrating with people, and it's a balance of having you time to decompress and relax and all that other stuff, wind down, and like don't just celebrate and be with the crowd just because that's what society expects, but also don't just be at home hermiting to run away. So this one, it's funny because with this one and this one, it's usually like my hopes and fears, and I never know how it comes out because, and I understand why. Let me bring the candle closer because it's dark. Because sometimes our hopes become our fear and our fear becomes our hope. What I mean is, I had hoped to get a promotion, for example, but now I'm full of fear because of, unfortunately, I've had literally a series of unfortunate events, and they've all hit back to back to back to the point that now my fear in my head is huge, and I've become afraid of the environment, of the future. And that's what these cards are showing, where, like, for example, like, back when machines started automating, it meant people were losing jobs. But now we're kind of back to, there's AI now. Are we going to lose jobs again? But also, it's been helpful both ways, because we can only do so much where we become physically tired. And this can lead to new job creations, but they're going to be one where it's more of, how do you handle the machine? How do you handle the AI? How do you maybe make things better, analyze? Because again, we're not yet at that point where AI can tell AI what to do. That's going to be a scary time. But for now, we're the ones who are analyzing, diagnosing, all that stuff, right? And so we still have something, like you still need a mechanic. Because even AI, if they try to diagnose, eventually maybe, yeah. But at the meantime, for now, we're still needed to think and to tell. And this reminds me of, like, I can't swim, so this would be scary for me. And if I could swim, it's still scary to go deep diving because there's still pros who are kind of like, we don't know what creatures are like way down there. And there's always that fear, like the deeper you go, your line could snap, you could lose your oxygen. So those are the fears, but yet they're the opportunities to see what else is out there. And then this is like, for me, and also usually I only do one card, but this time like 2 cards wanted to be out to emphasize, to give like more examples. So these are usually my my environment, like kind of my environment cards. It's kind of like, it's the outside influence, like what's influencing this whole situation, that's outside of your scope. And so you've got the Star and you got the King of Cups. The Star is usually like, it's fated, it's the universe, it's things that were meant to be happening, it's your path, your calling, it's your contract before you come here, all that stuff. And even here, this star aligns with this. You see the satellite technology, and it's in outer space. So again, it's like the past versus the future, and like going bigger. And this again, the water, and the scary situation, and it's the emotions, and it goes back to all of this, the doing. And it's kind of like reminds you again, like I'll always keep mentioning this part about yoga. When we're learning the moves, it's like we're like, oh, our body, focus, everything. The moment we're in Shavasana, all our thoughts, all our feelings flood us. So some of us may have been avoiding that, but we're needing to deal with that. Because I feel that way. I feel like I've been numbing out a little bit, and I need to, but I'm feeling called to kind of deal with it, because it's my blockage. I can't think when I'm fearful. I can't think when I have no hope for the future. And so again, like I said, this is the other side of like, you do need to hermit, but you also need the people. And where am I? Am I a hermit that's come out and I'm amongst the people, but I'm not still talking to them? Or am I a person amongst them and I can't hermit because I'm not dealing with my emotion? I'm just going through the motions. I'm out there and I'm just going and going and going and going and gone. And this again is like, again, like feeling stabbed, and to the point where it's just like everything is the next, like, now what's next? Like, I don't want to move forward. And that's the paralysis. And I get how some people stay in relationships or jobs for long, because at least you still know, like, you still know the good and the bad, versus like the next one is scarier because now it's in your head, built up so big. And then you start numbing with drinks, or like I've used CBD to calm my anxiety. And strangely, this year I've used the CBD and it's just not working. And that's when I know it's that bad. I can't just keep trying to make it, like, suppress it and push it down and sleep it away. Or, like, I'm noticing also, like, I'm sleeping a lot. But then when I sleep, my dreams are crazy. So my mind is telling me, you better deal with this, So that's what's happening for us too. I think on a collective, I'm seeing that, I'm hearing that, like, even just body language, reading faces, I do sort of see that. And so what's next? What's next? What's our message? What's our guidance? What's our wrap up? And unfortunately, yeah, these look scary because our mind is still in scary mind thinking phase. We have choices, but we're so afraid of making the wrong choices. We have moves, but we're afraid of making the wrong moves. And we almost want to, like, blindfold it and kind of go, I'm just going to do whatever, because it's almost like, if I do it that way, then it's not me. It's the universe. It's not me. It's not my fault. Or, oops, And the thing is that I'm trying to learn for myself too is, one, the balance of not controlling everything and sort of letting things be tried, and whether it succeeds or fail, let it be. But also in that concept of, yes, going ahead, of just trying anyways, whether I fear failure or not, and just doing it anyways, and knowing that if I fail, I don't have to go back to the way things were, but I can pivot, I can change, and I can decide, okay, I've tried this, I don't want it, including, I thought I wanted the leadership, but I don't, for example. Or I thought I wanted the fame, but I don't because there's too many people. Or I thought I wanted to be alone, but now I want to be with people. I want to talk with people. Or I thought I wanted to keep doing and climb the ladder, but now I feel I don't. Or whatever it is, And again, it's like this one where you're, oops, I'm pushing the wrong card. What am I doing? You're juggling and you want the money, but then you're juggling and it's like everything feels like it's just gonna go off and explode at any moment, or you feel like you are having to perform for people. And this is saying you don't, like, you're not this person, you're this person. And this is hard for me too, because this kind of reminds, of the justice card, because, like, justice is blind. So there's two versions. There's one that you're kind of going, yeah, justice really is blind because they're favored and I'm not. So do I also, if I'm frustrated by what other people are doing, do I then just kind of go, I turn a blind eye because I can't do anything about it, because I've tried, I've exhausted myself? And is it for me to balance the scale? Is it for me to juggle the good and the bad? And in all of this, once again, the slowing down, the not having to be in active phase right now, the moon, dealing with the emotions, dealing with our thoughts, that's our next step. And that's all I can give you, because I can't reach out to all your thoughts and emotions. And I can only hold space and be here, like sit with you with that, for instance. But you have to do that. You have to be the one that also will sit with your thoughts and emotions and really, really allow it to flow out, so that we can stop the fear and this cycle and this round and round and this sort of like drastic not people, and just finding some more balance where, hey, maybe I don't want to be with the big crowd, but maybe I want smaller with the people who really matter, the family or small groups of friends. Hey, I do want to be doing, but maybe I want to be learning about the technology or some kind of craft that goes into the future, or specifically your future. I want to say, I want to really think like, if I do this step, and you can plan several steps and then kind of go, maybe I just only want to do this one first, like your little checklist, but more bigger, long-term scale versus the immediate gratification, the immediate, like, getting it out of the way. Because chess can be a game that's long. For me, it's short because I suck at it and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, done, I don't know why that was humorous, but it is. So those are just some suggestions, and those are what I'm coming up in this 20-minute time frame. But for you, when you sit with yourself, you might come up with more. You might come up with things I'm not thinking of, which is the cool thing about talking to people, being around people. Kind of like when you have a meeting and someone says something like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or when you see different coaches and you're like, oh, that's a cool strategy. That's a cool technique. It's that kind of thing. So it's hard. But staying and doing the same thing and numbing out is harder in the long term. So that's why you got to do this, because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you.